Hello and welcome back to Planet AP. If you're new here, it's crazy out here, but you're gonna love it. Am I recording? Yes. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about the biggest quantum leaping blocker, the biggest hidden block that most people don't realize is the reason why they haven't manifested their reality, that they have been visualizing, affirming, doing mirror work about everything in between. And I feel like, in my opinion, this is one of the least parts of this entire, what do you call it, community, right? Manifestation community, least spoken part of. Because you see people who teach manifestation, they will teach all the methods, they'll talk about the strategies, they'll say do water affirmation, do quantum leaping showers, do this, do that. But I truly believe that what I'm about to teach you in this video, what I'm about to share with you, the lack of awareness of this, and therefore there's this confusion that, like, wait, I have been doing the processes, then why have I not manifested it yet? And here's the thing, you can convince your mind, but you can't switch up your energy until what is in your unconsciousness gets integrated. And that's what this is about, because I did this 3-day little workshop inside my community, Planet AP, and it was based on this, right? A part of it, yes. So when we did that, and there were some people who were watching it who were like, I've never ever heard about this, or I've never understood, but this just makes so much sense. This helps me put so much into perspective that I've been low-key confused about. And so we're going to be talking about this and how the direct impact it has on your energy, on your reality, on the way that you experience everything, because it's so hidden, it's so unconscious. So obviously your conscious mind completely doesn't even realize that it is. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Mr. Little Shadow, but more specifically in this video, I want to talk about inner child wounds, okay? And I won't be going over all of them, but I will be going over maybe 2 or 3 of them, or maybe all 5, I don't know, but the intention is to show you what they are, how they play out in our lives, and how they even impact our intention. Because here's the thing, right? What we talked about is for you to manifest what needs to happen, an intention needs to be there. An intention powered by energy creates something, not creates, but rather allows you to manifest, to make appear what was previously hidden from your perception, right? So when this intention in itself is low-key affected or influenced by something else, something hidden, something unconscious, then we are manifesting what we want for the wrong reasons without realizing that they're the wrong reasons. And therefore, we're at the incorrect end of the stick unconsciously. And that's why your processes aren't working. So let's get to this, all right? Also, I noticed a lot of you left insanely helpful tips on how to clean my whiteboard. So I haven't gotten to use them yet, but I will. In the coming week, I will. I shall. We will bring justice to our whiteboard, and we shall make it white again. Because #white lives matter. All lives matter. Anyways, okay, let's do this. So I'm gonna start off by talking about this concept that I introduced in my second book, which you can find inside my community, Planet AP, which is called Your Inner Runner. My book is called How Long Will You Run? And here's the idea, that all of us throughout our lives have something inside of us called an inner runner. So you'll notice that everyone ever is running somewhere, okay? Some people are running away from their past. They're like, it's been so traumatic, I want to escape it, right? Some people are running away from their current reality. They're like, maybe if I go somewhere, I start fresh, maybe a new place, new people, new environment will give me a new life, right? And some people, they're running towards the future. Then maybe if I get this trophy of worthiness, or I achieve this thing, I do this thing, then I'll be worthy. But this inner runner, the purpose of this inner runner is one, and it is that I want to feel worthy, right? And people will do anything to feel that, and a lot of people, because this inner runner exists in our unconscious, subconscious mind, and it is constantly influencing your conscious mind, right? And so it will inspire you to maybe work really, really hard, so people become workaholics. I mentioned this story, I think, in my book as well, that there was this person, he was 35, he had built an entire business, he travels all over the world. You look at his Instagram and homie looks like he's living it up, right? And then this person, when we were talking, they were like, oh, I hate my life and I drink on weekends, I drink and I do drugs just so that I can get away from all this. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I get that I have everything, but I hate my life. So every time we live a life that is inauthentic to us, inauthentic to our purpose, to our passion, to the gift of who we are, we always end up suffering, right? Every time we go against the laws of nature, the laws of reality, we end up suffering. So then there is this inner runner in all of us that forces us to do things a certain way, be a certain type of person, do this, do that. Maybe you'll fit in, maybe once you belong, you'll feel worthy, this and that. So my question was that how do we go from a child who's born? You know, if I bring a baby to you right now, no matter whose baby it is, no matter what race, what religion, what color, any baby I bring to you and I'm like, do you think this baby doesn't deserve love? You're gonna be like, of course it does, right? And I say, do you believe that this baby is worthy? That you're gonna be like, yeah, Anna. And I'm like, no, this is an unworthy baby. And you're like, what the hell? No, every baby is worthy, right? So we've all been a baby at one point. And we were all, when we were born, we were all worthy. So then the question is, like, what happened between then and now that made us feel like we lost our worthiness? Because if any of us were given anyone's child right now, we would hold and say, this is a worthy baby, right? So what happened, right? And that's what the inner runner is about. So now here's what I want you to see. What happened is from 0 to 7 years old, right? Every baby has 5 emotional developmental needs. And these needs influence how the baby, so these 5 needs influence the baby's map of themselves, which of course creates the map of the world, right? And your brain in the first 7 years and later on develops in collaboration with your environment, right? So your brain waves, when you're born, your brain waves are slow, 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 and then finally they get to beta and so on and so forth, right? Now in these 7 years, however your mom and dad, the energy that they play out, the rules and regulations, the way they treat you, the way that they treat themselves, the whatever is going on during that time of your life influences the map of your reality for yourself, for the world, for everything, right? And now the way that this inner runner is born, let's talk about number 1, an abandonment wound, all right? We'll talk about an abandonment wound because this is something that a lot of people have, right? So let's say that there was this little baby who all they wanted was mom and dad's unconditional love, unconditional joy, unconditional presence, and all of that, right? So this baby wanted mom and dad's unconditional love, unconditional presence, all of that. But mom and dad, look, mom and dad were not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? We're adults. Maybe you're a mom, maybe you're a dad. You know that you're not always perfect, right? But the baby doesn't know that. The baby is only like those two are the first humans, the first interaction, the first love, the first everything the baby sees, right? So maybe they had their own problems going on, right? Maybe mom and dad were having problems between themselves. Maybe they got divorced. Maybe they had work stress, whatever. They had their personal life. But this child over here is a baby, and it felt like whatever problems they have, right? The baby thinks the baby is low-key like a narcissist. And I'm saying this not clinically, but I'm saying this metaphorically, meaning the baby thinks that everything is about them. Everything is personal to them. It takes everything personally, right? Mom and dad have problems, it's because I'm not good enough. Mom and dad, maybe they got a divorce, it's because I'm not worthy. I this, I that. The baby is very I-centered, right? It thinks that everything, the world revolves around it, right? Now, if it does not get consistent, unconditional love, presence, all of that, the baby feels abandoned, right? Now, The baby's mind knows that for survival, what is really important is what? What is really important for your survival is love. What is really important for your survival is belonging. What is really important for your survival is to get their energy, right? To get them to be pleased with you, be around you, take care of you, to love you, to belong with them, right? Now the baby's mind, the ego survival mechanism kicks in, and now this kid might, so a lot of things could happen, right? Might learn that, okay, I could be a high achiever, and then maybe I'll get their attention. However, you need to get their attention, you will do that. Maybe if I cry a lot, then I'll get attention. Maybe if I am self-sufficient, I get praised for it, right? Whatever method you had to use in order to get their love, get their attention, get their whatever, get their approval, is what becomes your armor, okay? So this becomes your little armor that, okay, so we'll take the example of people pleasing. Because this is a big one. A lot of people, like this hits home for so many people, and it used to hit home for me too, right? So people pleasing. So now maybe the baby learns that when I listen to every single thing they say, when I do exactly what I'm told, when I suppress my voice, my opinions, my feelings, my everything, and I just do what they want me to do, then I get their love. Whatever the price of love we pay when we are kids, okay? Listen to this, write this down. The price of love you had to pay when you were a child becomes the way that you believe you can earn worthiness. That's what you believe is the cost of worthiness, the cost of belonging, the cost of connection, the cost of everything. That price tag, that was created when you were a kid. You had to maybe people please, so you had to do whatever mom and dad said. You had to attune to their energy. Let's talk about people pleasers for a second, right? What is the anatomy of a people pleaser? Look over here. Wait. So a people pleaser, right? Their intuition, we say we're very empathetic, right? The empathy is abnormal, highly empathetic. Why? Because all you're over here were your safety centers. Your safety center, you neglected these energy centers, and all the attention, all the energy had to go in the intuition so that you could assess what mom and dad's energy was like, okay, at the beginning. You read their energy, you feel their energy. That's how you know that you're safe, you're not safe. You can relax, you cannot relax. Your nervous system latches onto theirs so that their energy, their whatever they're doing, whatever they're feeling, you assess this, you feel it up, and then your nervous system decides whether it's safe for you to relax or not. This was born as a survival tactic when you were a kid, so that you could feel safe, right? So now you never learn how to feel safe in your own body because you always attached your safety to what was going on in the environment, and then you decided I can be safe, I cannot, or do I have to be on high? Because what happens when you're in survival mode, you're hyper alert, hyper aware of everything around you. You're looking, you're observing, you're checking out, you're like, okay, I can do this, I can be this way, I can this, I can that. Can I relax? Because to relax means to what? In a survival, like out in the wild, what does relaxation mean? If you're relaxed in the wild, it means that your guard is off, right? So you could get attacked, you could get eaten up. So you will not relax until you know that the threats are dissolved. You have nothing to worry about, you can chill. And your nervous system thought that, okay, I can't chill until I know that everything is good with mom and dad. Because what? Maybe your parents they had anger issues. Maybe they were controlling, maybe whatever, right? So this is, by the way, not to demonize them, but to understand your own unconsciousness so that you can heal it, integrate it, forgive them. Because maybe sometimes people don't even realize that they're holding on to these things energetically, right? It's all stored in your timeline, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but look over here. So now as a kid, you had to learn to please them, become a people pleaser in order to feel safe. To your mind, to your body, to your nervous system, it was literally do or die, right? And then what happens is that you never learn to individuate, meaning you never learn to separate your energy field from theirs, right? So now when you go out into the world, you start to latch onto other people's nervous systems, right? So you will seek people's approval. You will do what someone else wants you to do. You will list. You will say yes when you want to say no. You can't say you can't say no. You can't set boundaries. You can't stand if someone doesn't like you. So you have no authenticity in your own self, because authenticity to you means feels unsafe, right? So when you can't be authentic, when you can't be yourself, you're always going to be a people pleaser. You're always going to be a doormat. You're always going to be doing what everyone else wants you to do, and you suppress your own voice. You suppress your own voice. You suppress your own voice, and that's why you feel exhausted. You burn out. You feel this. You feel that, because you're not listening to your own self, your own intuition, right? And that's what happens when you're a people pleaser. And why did that happen? Because of your inner runner. Because you wanted to not feel abandoned anymore. So because you never wanted to feel the pain of being abandoned, you constantly abandon yourself to please another. Abandon yourself to please another. The reason why people are afraid to be abandoned. Why is that, right? When they get into a relationship, they're scared of being abandoned. Why? Because they keep abandoning themselves. When you stop abandoning yourself, you're never going to feel scared of someone else abandoning you. The reason you feel scared that someone will abandon you, or you don't want to be abandoned by someone, is because you don't know how to feel safe in your own body. So if you don't know how to feel safe in your own body, you need someone else always validating you, affirming you, telling you what to do, maybe, whatever, so that your nervous system can feel safe. So your nervous system's entire sense of safety depends on it. Now, let's bring this entire thing to manifestation over here, right? Let's bring it over here. Now, someone goes like, I want to manifest a relationship. Someone goes like, I want to manifest a relationship, blah, blah. All right, you want to manifest a relationship, cool. And now, underneath this is, I don't want to be alone, fear of abandonment, childhood unresolved trauma. Now, underneath this, I want to manifest a relationship, there's fear of abandonment, there's childhood unresolved, there's this. And then you end up, maybe you even do manifest a relationship, but you manifest something that is equal to your unconscious energy. Something that is equal to your unconscious energy. So unconscious, unresolved energy, maybe. Now, if this fear of abandonment is over here, then what's going to happen? You will get abandoned. You're going to be like, I don't know why I can't manifest a healthy relationship. Well, that's because you have all of this in your unconsciousness. These fears, these doubts, these worries, these things that are unresolved in your nervous system, So so reality is bringing to you a reflection of whatever is unresolved in you, not to hurt you, but so that you can look at it. Because the shadows that we have, when we are unconscious of them, the way that they come to life is through the external. So through pain, problems, situations, blockings, whatever, in the external world. You have fear of abandonment, you will keep getting abandoned by partners. You have fear of getting abused, you will keep getting abused until you learn, heal, integrate. Fear of being cheated on, people keep getting cheated on over and over, because you're manifesting from the fear. You are not manifesting from the abundance, from the I would like to have this. You're manifesting, I don't want this. Oh my God, I don't want this. So you're just like, because, for example, you go like, I want to manifest a relationship because I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want the energy that's being printed is I don't want to be alone. Your subconscious does not process negation. So what's happening? It's processing, I want to be alone. And then you end up being alone because that's your biggest fear. You have to resolve the biggest fear. You have to integrate it. You have to learn to be neutral, right? And this is the thing this is what the inner runner does. And that's like, this is a relationship example, but let me give you more, right? Let's talk about us, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that might be. Writers. For some reason, every time I'm cleaning my board, right, I'm thinking about that song. I think it's Iris by Goo Goo Dolls. And then I was like, why am I always thinking of this song, right? And then I realized because I'm touching, right? And so the ADHD brain really ADHDs hard over here. If you have ADHD, one of the funniest ways, oh my god, one of the most obvious ways that I can tell someone is probably neurospicy is like, you'll be talking to them and like say like a random word and they'll just have a song for it. I feel like I do that so much. You'll say a random word and I'll just tell you a song related to that entire thing. And then I have to finish it too. Cause like, you know, she knows. She knows. See? Okay. So let's talk about this. Let's bring it to more other examples, right? Someone goes like, I want to manifest a new job, right? So now there's two ways to go about this, right? So the way that we manifest, the way that works is I'd love a new opportunity, which means that acceptance of current, which means you're not wanting to manifest something else because you're resisting the current thing. Here's the thing. Let's talk timelines for a second before we go further, right? This is you right now. And somewhere over here are different unresolved shadows, experiences, inner child wounds, whatever, right? So let's just say this is in the past, this is unresolved energy. Now, the way that this unresolved energy shows up to be integrated is that it appears in a situation in the now. A situation that you feel like resisting. Situation that creates a resistance in you. Now, this appears over here to be what? Integrated and resolved, right? Now, when this shows up to be integrated and resolved, a lot of people, their knee jerk is to what? Run for your life. Is to run, right? Is that like, oh my God, I need to avoid this situation. And a lot of times people come into the manifestation space to learn tricks and tools or whatever to avoid their current reality. If you're coming into the space to simply avoid, to go like, okay, well, how can I trick reality and avoid dealing with my stuff? And just like, sometimes the comments underneath my videos, people ask wild questions and this is one of them, which is like, oh my God, I've been trying to manifest for so long and this and I hate my current this, I hate this. But here's the thing, manifestation is not a Build-A-Bear workshop, right? That, oh yeah, let me just choose what I like and like I'll take this apart. I don't want this. No, like you get like all the markers. And then you learn how to deal with it. You learn to accept that, yes, I have all these markers. You can have favorites, not the green one. You're not my favorite. I can have favorites, but that doesn't mean that I reject these. That means that I accept that, okay, I got these and I really like these. And this is okay too, because everything is neutral. And I'm not just saying this with my mouth. Like a lot of people, they'll be like, okay, so if I just say that I accept it or whatever, your energy, like God will make reality respond to your energy, not what you're spitting with your mouth. You, like God says, he knows that what's hidden even in your heart, the hidden, right? Not just your external. And that's why intention is the basis of everything. Intention is the basis of action. Intention, because a lot of times your intention is clouded by your unconscious energy, right? So now these situations arise so that you integrate it, resolve it instead of running away. But when you say, I hate my job because my boss is a jerk and that is why I want to manifest a new job, what's going to happen? Even if you do manifest a new job, you will find someone who reflects the energy of your boss. Reality will always be showing you reflections of your own unresolved shadows and inner child wounds and energies, right? So if you get a new job, you know what follows you everywhere you go? You follow you, because reality is a mirror. If you got spinach in your teeth, right? And you just keep changing mirrors. The spinach won't go away from your reflection until you clean your tooth, your teeth, whatever. And it's like, similarly, you could get the most expensive mirror in the world and there's still going to be spinach in your teeth. Why? Because there's spinach in your teeth. So a lot of people think that if I just change this mirror I'm looking, if I get a more expensive mirror, that's going to change my reflection. But no, the spinach will follow you. That's a threat. It's a threat. Okay? Don't mess with the spinach, boy. So the purpose is to understand this is you, this is your mouth, and this is your spinach. When you look over here, guess what you're still gonna have? Spinach. So you gotta clean the spinach from here to clean it from here. You know, whatever. So similarly, instead of using manifestation as a tool to escape your reality, you gotta look at every opportunity, everything in your life and go like, okay, well, what is the situation showing me and how can I integrate it, right? So another childhood wound, but I want to talk about, but I actually want to talk about people pleasing a little more, right? You're attuned to everyone else except your own nervous system. So you don't know how to feel safe in isolation. You don't know how to trust your own advice. You don't know how to listen to your intuition, and so on and so forth. And therefore, you don't know what your purpose or passion is. You might not even realize what this is because it's always clouded by everyone else's voice. And here's why this is crazy important to look at, right? Because till and unless you can learn to trust yourself, you will not learn to trust. You can't trust the divine if you don't trust yourself. Hot take. Ooh. You can't trust the divine if you don't trust yourself. So a lot of people go like, I don't know how to trust God. I don't know how to do this. How can I just trust? How can I trust? I have to control. Why do you have to control? Because your nervous system needs to feel safe. Your nervous system cannot feel safe in surrender until you can learn to trust yourself. And if you can't learn to trust yourself, you can't learn to let go of control and trust God. Because your reliance is on external, and that could be people, that could look like circumstances, that could look like your job, your business, whatever. Because you think that as long as you're in control, meaning in survival, that's what ensures your safety. So letting go, surrender feels like a threat to your safety. So of course you can't trust. Of course surrender feels hard. Of course. Because nervous system doesn't know how to not be nervous. It's always like, you know, it's nervous. It's nervous. It's got to be a chill system. Like that. So if you can't make it go from like a nervous system to a chill system, go home. Chill out. Sit in the fridge. So, because the divine, when we talk about it, remember in my last video, I think, and a lot of my videos, I talk about how everything that comes from the divine is almost illogical, right? Because the test of life is what? It's perception. It's that, are you going to trust what you're seeing with your senses, or are you going to believe and trust what's the whisper in your heart? You can't trust the whisper in your heart if you are hyper attuned to the environment and hyper attached to your senses, which happens when you're in survival, right? So now, if my favorite example that I give you guys a lot is the staff of Moses, right? Now he's at the sea and he's told to strike the sea with his staff, and imagine if you don't know how to trust the divine, you don't know how to trust yourself, you're gonna be like, wait, what? Maybe I should get someone's advice. Maybe I should do this. And people will always say no. Because why? Because it seems illogical to do that, right? It seems illogical to trust. But then your passion, your purpose, your freedom, all of us have this thing that the impact we're here to do, but we can't access it until we cut from the noise of other people. And we can't cut from the noise of other people if we can't stop being people pleasers. And we can't stop being people pleasers until we learn to trust our own selves. And we can't learn to trust our own selves if we don't even have the courage to be disliked. Because a lot of times what happens, people go like, I can't do this, everyone's gonna make fun of me, what are they gonna think about me, what is this person gonna say, I can't tell them off, I can't set a boundary. So you keep abandoning yourself. But if you don't learn to put yourself first, you will always be pouring from an empty cup. And what pours out an empty cup? Nothing. You're pouring nothing. I could be a rapper. Okay. Yeah. I said that. So point is that whatever reality that you want to draw into your life, quantum leap into, here's another thing that happens, right? People make the quantum, maybe you do make the psychological journey from one state of consciousness to another, right? From your current reality to your desired. Why did I write the D? Okay, like desired reality, right? Now let's say you do make that. The next step that happens is that everything that is in your unconscious that needs to be integrated for you to be able to perceive that reality will show up in your reality as in your external world. Now, I truly believe that the fastest, easiest, and better way to deal with this, right, is to not wait for the external to show you what to shift. It's to bring the shift to yourself and make your nervous system feel safe. So you basically, like, instead of waiting around for things to fall apart, you deal with what needs to be integrated. So you go digging deep into your own unconscious, and instead of letting them find you, you find them. You go like, look at me. I'm the captain now. Look at me. Right? Like that. And when you do that, so a lot of ways to do that is to go into your own unconsciousness and find out, like, okay, maybe even look at the patterns in your life and find out what are things that I do that I don't like to do. So maybe you have people pleasing, maybe you have abandonment, maybe it's rejection, maybe you feel like you're afraid of being rejected, right? Maybe everything is always unfair for you. You have an injustice wound, right? Maybe it's shame, guilt, huge one for a lot of people. And usually people have like a bunch of these tied up together, but shame is a big one, right? Because guilt says I did something wrong, but you know what shame says? It says I am the problem. Guilt says I made a mistake. Shame says I am the mistake. And a lot of people carry shame all around in their lives, and that's why they feel unworthy. And that's why the inner runner, right? That's why they feel like I need to earn my worthiness. That's why they think that, okay, well, in order for me to earn my worthiness, I need to do something in the external, and so on and so forth, right? So if your manifestations have not been manifesting, or your quantum leapings have not been leaping, and you feel like, you low-key feel stuck, you feel like things feel stuck, or you feel overpowered maybe by the shadows, or you feel like, you're too attached to your outcomes, so on and so forth, find out what is the underlying energy. Find out what are some patterns in your life that have kept playing. And a good way to do that, rule of thumb, right, is that you can literally make a map of your reality like this. Like, so you write money, you write relationships, you write people, maybe love, maybe divine, maybe health, so on and so forth, right? All of these different areas. And then go back and find out what are patterns that have kept playing out over and over again, like a broken record, right? It's like just one song on repeat, and you're just like, I heard this song. So this time, instead of saying, I heard this song, you go like, why are you broken, Mr. Record? Can we fix you? So you can change the song. Instead of people go like, I hate it, shut up. Like, just because you're complaining about it doesn't change anything, right? You're just complaining and you're creating more of it. So instead of complaining about it, you go and like you be like a Mr. Inspector. And if you want to do this on your own, go ahead, do it. If you want to do it together, this is why I created the 14-day timeline death challenge, so that we can say goodbye to all of these things that are unresolved, and we can kill that timeline with love, right? So that's basically 14 days. It starts on June 17th, and it's a process for 14 days. We're going to be rewiring, healing, resetting the nervous system, finding out what unconscious energy has been playing out in the gunk, and then releasing that, integrating that, and ending the shit show of the survival self, so you can actually live the life that you want to live without avoiding something. You integrate, you accept, you embody, and then reality will shift for you. You want to get just the timeline that challenge, the link is below. And I also, because here's the thing, right, this same thing plays out in our businesses, right? So a lot of people, this is so huge. Maybe you want to start a business and you don't have one yet, Or maybe you do have a business, but your business is based off logic and hustle, and so your reliance is very heavy on that and not on the divinity. And so your business kind of like sucks the life out of you, right? So if you don't want to do that, if you want to learn how to build a business that feels very, very expansive to you, feeds your soul, it's so led, it's so guided, it's heart filled. I have an 8-week experience. We start on 11th August. It's called the God Coded Business. When you get inside that, you get the timeline death challenge for free, because I truly believe that in order to do that, you need to first reset your nervous system, right? So you get the timeline death challenge for free, A, and B, we meet then. First, we have those 8 weeks live on Zoom, and then we have a retreat in Bali where we launch together in joy, in love, and I show you in real time how powerful it is to launch your business from a place of love, from your highest frequency, to launch your product even, not even just your business, but any product, any offer, you launch it, and then what do we do next in a way that you're not like hyper focused on the metrics and this and that. You just let God do his thing and you do your thing, and you see how easy money can be to make consistently, abundantly, and divinely. So the link for that is below as well. I've kept the discount code 11K until we hit 12K on YouTube. The moment we hit 12K, I will maybe open up a new code. I don't know, but that might be 12K, right? So anyways, I love you, and I will see you inside either of those. I do have a free quantum leaping transmission, which comes with a rampage, journaling questions, all of that. You can get that. And if you want to be inside Planet AP to read my book, you can get all the links are below. I love you, and I will see you real soon. Bye.